Now, she done been in all type of stuff, right? But I love her. And what I mean by that is that I might not agree with some of the stuff that she say, some of the ways that she carry herself, but that's gonna be with any humans, right? That's what it is. What it is. But the part about her that you gotta love is that she seemed like you. She remind me of the young black woman I grew up with, right? But she not the young black woman I grew up with. I'm fully aware of that. But I'm also fully aware she's in touch with the culture. Now, being in touch with the culture and being totally in the culture and engrossed by the culture creates two different people. Y'all both can have the same attitude, right? Y'all both could talk the same. But one of y'all ain't got nothing going on. One of y'all can't get no money together. One of y'all ain't focused on no business. One of y'all ain't like one of y'all is like not acting it out. Like you ain't trying to like. But it's the difference between dudes that's like, you know, the hood dudes that's talking shit and the dudes that get online and talk shit but try to get money, and the other dudes is trying to get life in prison. So like you living this way to fuck your life up, and she operating like that to get clout off it, right? To get the votes. Because there's a lot of people out there like her that's looking for somebody that's similar to them to vote for, right? Who would a person rather vote for? You want to vote to somebody that you feel like is similar to you, but maybe a little better than you, maybe a little smarter than you. Maybe that's the person you want to vote for, and that's what she represents. So even her coming the distance that she came and playing the position that she played, you gotta love Jasmine Crockett, right? Even if you disagree with some things. Now, one of the issues in our community is if you disagree with some things, people will start to accuse you of not having love for the person. They like try to make you do it like a gang and stuff. Like, oh, you gotta agree with everything. No, the fuck I don't.
No, man, there has been so much today, and I truly don't know where to start. So I'm just going to make sure that we start off with a few facts. So a couple of facts that we need to make clear for everyone is that, number one, Director Christopher Wray, when he was appointed to be the head of the FBI, was appointed...
Let me tell you something about Jasmine, right? Jasmine treat this shit like a fashion show. She treat Capitol Hill like Jasmine treat Capitol Hill like a fashion show. Y'all see her every time you see her, she's different. Jasmine don't play that. Jasmine out there trying to, I don't know, man, like, and Jasmine a little cooker too, like Jasmine fuck around, sweep a motherfucker off his feet.
By Donald Trump. Now, I will agree that I definitely take issue with a number of decisions that Donald Trump makes, especially when it comes to the people that he decides to appoint to very important positions, including this one, because I did have to make sure that I wasn't going crazy. But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one
I see her inflection. She said that is real. You know that's coming from where we come from. She said, yo, you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of all time, and that is real. And then you see she in full black woman mode. You see she fidgeting, getting her seat right, maneuvering. Yo, if you've been around a black woman when she start doing that, you know she about to say some of the most disrespectful things you ever heard in your fucking life.
Tell me, peanut butter jelly, good. Peanut butter jelly, there she go, the lady of my dreams.
I'm gonna tell y'all a story, right? And me and this dude, we didn't have a fallout, but he did some real bullshit to me, man. He told him, well, I'm not going through that, but he's part of one of the reasons why my downfall or whatever. But his girl used to be real aggressive with him, right? And so, it was times when we always talk about going out, and she'd be like, yo, oh, now where you going? Bugging on him. So one time we in the spot and shit, and I'm like, yo, bro, like, why you be letting her talk to you like that? Because me and her, we cousins, but we like, that's kind of like my cousin, but we like, through, around the corner, you know how black people, you be related to people, but y'all ain't connected no more from a long time ago and shit? Like that, right? Yo, so I forgot exactly what he said, but whatever he said she didn't like. But so she started fishing, she was like, your dick too little to be talking to me like that. I said,
what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
and I'm not gonna say his whole name, but his name is Lil something. Like Lil and a letter. Not Lil B, but something like that. You said if it was Lil B, it's a letter though. I don't say it. Not Lil J, because it'd be like a letter, Lil J. You know what I'm saying? Like not Lil Z, it's a different Lil, but and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I'm fucking shout out to Yum Yum.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Yum Yum was crazy. Alright, nah. Alright though. But yeah. So Jasmine Crockett is rearing up here. And sadly, y'all know how we look at politics around the world. Like, yo, they in there bugging out. Yo, they ain't real. Yo, it seemed like American politics is actually going in that direction. Like, where it's like, yo, is this WWE yet? Like, yo, wait. American politics might be WWE right now. We don't even know. We serious. We still arguing over left and right and Democrat and Republican. And they out here all on the same team. This shit is the Wrestling Federation.
You are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI. That is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining. Yet we are supposed to believe that you were the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question.
Alright, now, she said we all gotta believe you the greatest thing since sliced bread. He said that's not true. She said we ain't asked you a question. Real black, because let me tell you something. If you on a big stage saying something about somebody and they like, that's not true. I think in that moment you supposed to be like, what you mean it ain't true? Because if you don't, you can mess around and end up looking bad. But if politics is WWE, and it don't matter if you get caught saying something that might not be true. It don't matter if you get caught acting in a particular way that's outrageous. If it's all WWE, then she just trying to get her shit off for her constituents.
Now, what I want to go through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, we just need to tell you bye-bye.
Why you are a failure? Yo, Jasmine is crazy.
Put on your show for your boss because it seems like you're trying to save your job when it came to talking to Senator Booker yesterday. But let's go through some of your failures. So
why you all
before
failure?
You were even confirmed, and I think one of my colleague from Georgia, pointed.
Now, say for instance you in a relationship with a black woman and y'all really at the ends and she want to read you the riot. Yo, pay attention to this, bro. Yo, she pay attention to how she addressing him.
Sure that I wasn't going crazy, but when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining, yet we are supposed to believe that you were the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question. Now, what I want to go through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, we just need to tell you bye-bye. I know that you got a little upset and you put on your show for your boss because it seems like you're trying to save your job when it came to talking to Senator Booker yesterday.
Let's check on them things too.
But let's go through some of your failures. So before you were even confirmed, and I think one of my colleague from Georgia, pointed out that you were already targeting career officials so that you could direct illegal firings. Mind you, these cases that you were so upset about, which are the ones tied to Trump, the cases came through his handpicked FBI director. And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, you know, we're happy because now we feel safe. I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists, because I specifically as a black woman definitely don't feel safe. And frankly, my colleagues have been real nice to you today. and I applaud them, but I don't have the same.
And let me tell you something. Yo, I think as Americans, we bougie. Cause I don't like it no knock to her, but I don't think she knows what feeling safe is. Because you ain't gonna talk a certain way if you're not feeling safe. You ain't gonna put yourself out there in a particular way if you're not feeling safe. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, so I don't know. We had to check off some of these thing-a-langs right here, man. Who got hits, who don't got hits. Who got RBIs, who don't got RBIs. And let that thing rock. All right. Let's check on these NFL scores and let Jasmine do her
demeanor.
thing.
Because I know that multiple colleagues on this side of the aisle have faced death threats.
Gibbs touchdown.
In fact, somebody tried to kill one of my colleagues. And frankly, I don't know if this FBI or under your leadership, if those people would have been caught. I don't have any confidence in you. And if we start talking about the reasons that I lack confidence, we could start with you not just wanting to acknowledge some simple facts. Simple facts like the vast majority of the threats are coming from right-wing extremism. And I know my colleagues have tried to stress this, but I decided that I would maybe do it in a different way. Number one, I have a couple of UCs. Kim Buck, one of multiple Republicans receiving death threats for voting against Jim Jordan as House Speaker.
Without objection.
Another one, Republican lawmaker says she received death threats after voting against Jim Jordan in Speaker's race.
Without objection.
In addition, there was another one from another colleague who now is leaving Congress because they said that they were calling his wife anonymously and threatening her life to the extent that she ended up sleeping with a firearm.
Without objection.
Okay, so here's the deal. How are we supposed to have confidence when you're sitting up here?
Let me tell you something, right? You see how Jasmine Crockett was talking about that? Like, most people I know that got a firearm, I know you supposed to keep your firearms locked up and stuff, but most people from the hood, if they got a firearm, bro, whether it's legal or not, they sleep with their firearm. This how you know you really live in a dangerous situation where anything could kind of happen, especially depending on the way that you living, right? But I think what happens sometimes is that, like, you know how we all talk about having empathy and having humility? That's why I describe, like, love is the highest level of understanding. The reason I describe love as the highest level of understanding is because when you when the higher your level of understanding, the more love that you could dispense to people, right? The more you understand people, the more you can navigate through all the situations that's taking place. So that some shit don't happen and you get so mad the way you start to alienate yourself away from the person or that culture or those group of people, whatever the case may be, right? Because you have a high understanding. So, I understand both sides. Like, I understand right wing, I understand left wing, I understand what everybody is feeling and going through. But do the person on the right wing understand how the person on the left wing feel? Does the person on the left wing understand how the person on the right wing feel? Everybody might feel a little anxious. Everybody might feel a little afraid. Everybody might feel a little nervous when they see the opposition, right? But what energy do you give off in that moment?
You're telling the Senate yesterday that it will take you 14 years before you can get the FBI fully staffed to do their jobs. You're also now redirecting resources so that they can go and play ICE agents on the streets. You're getting rid of your most qualified people. And even when it came down to somebody that you consider to be a friend, you were posted up having some fancy dinner to the extent that you posted not only once erroneously, you posted twice erroneously as it relates to catching somebody, and then you want to go and say, let me take a victory lap, because honestly, if it wasn't for parents deciding that they were going to turn in their child, it seems like y'all wouldn't have got there, even though he literally confessed online. So I'm I'm confused about what it is that the FBI is doing,
And she's
except
talking about
for
the
trying to put on
situation
a
with
show
Charlie Kirk.
for The Apprentice, or whatever you want to call him. The day after all of this took place, there was domestic terrorism that was taking place at HBCUs. They were targeted. Yet I didn't hear anything from the FBI about what was going on. And again, black people kept saying, how did we end up in this? Because the numbers are so very clear that white supremacy is a problem.
That nerf
And
hit
honestly,
too.
I've not heard anything out of you today that makes me believe that you're going to do anything about the white supremacy problem. The one that is leading to children being killed, children being shot, as well as members of their community as they're worshiping.
Now, everything she said is correct, right? Can't knock it. But if you was to look up how many deaths of black people are attributed to white supremacists as opposed to gang banging and all the stuff that we do you think it would compare? So look, what would you want your leader, right? Let's take it away. Let's take it away from race. Let's take it away from all of that, right? You just choosing a leader. What would you want your leader to focus on? The top 3 things that's destroying your community and killing you, or the 18th thing? What would you desire? So yeah, yo, bro, you know one thing that I think being in prison taught me, for all that time taught me, right? One thing, then the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. I hardly encounter people who know that. So what I mean is that you got problems. Say you got 7 problems. You solve one, and then you solve another one. Motherfucker want all 7 of those problems erased on the spot. No. And refuse to negotiate to get one off the board unless you can get all 7. Why would I ever not want to have this problem if I'm gonna have 6 more? Well, my nigga, if 7 problems stressing you and you knock down 1, now you got 6. Maybe that's a little bit less stress. But then what if you get the 5? What if you get the 4? What if when you get the 4, the other 3 things that you knocked out automatically eliminate 2, and now you got 2 things that you really thinking about at a consistent level. But now since you got rid of those other issues, you got the time, the mental capacity, the maybe a little bit more harmony to actually tackle these problems and do something great. What if that happens?
Tell me, good. Peanut butter jelly, good. Peanut butter jelly. There she go, the lady of my dreams.
The leaders, our representatives, our congressmen, our presidents, I think they all should have that type of understanding. But then the people gotta have that understanding as well. And what do I mean by that? So I often say that, yo, bro, being a president is the hardest job in the world, hands down, right? How hard is it, boo? Everybody think they could do the job, right? What they call that Monday morning quarterbacking, when after Sunday the NFL games, everybody on their couch in their crib at their jobs on Monday, whatever, all through Monday, like, yo, he should have did this. I should have, right? You having a hard time. Like, if I'm having a hard time keeping my woman happy, I don't think that when I become president, I might have a hard time keeping at least 30% of the country happy. How? Who gonna get up in there and keep 100% of people happy? When everybody is wilding out on who America is deciding what countries and nations should be our friends, these the same people that's like, when the gas go up, oh, I can't believe the gas went up 35 cents. You mean to tell me you might be like, yo, why we even talking to them? That's like, you got your job and your girl like, I hate you at that job. Them chicks be all on you. Why don't you just quit that job? Then you quit the job and she like, nigga ain't got nothing. Nigga, oh, we can't do this. Bro, what's going on? That don't make no sense.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You niggas are crazy.
Being the president gotta be a hard job. You a representative, you a congressman, think about it. You got your constituents. The people that put you there want what they want. That don't mean that the rest of the country want the same thing. They sit there and be like, yo, if you legalize marijuana to cut down on this crime and bring this statement, and it be some Christians up there like, I don't care about the good things. We're not supposed to do it. You get some real old school person that's like, he don't know nothing about marijuana, just seen commercials. Yeah, no, it's gonna... Holding public office is gotta be hard. But you should be a hard person to even be able to have that kind of job.
In their churches.
The time of the gentlelady has expired. If the gentleman would like to respond to any of that. Well, I'll respond. Kash Patel, as I said when I introduced him, public defender, former prosecutor, top staffer on the House Intelligence Committee, Deputy Director of National Intelligence with the National Security Council, Chief of Staff at the Department of Defense, and FBI Director. I think that's pretty...
So basically, I've been working for the federal government. Let's go back through his joint. Think about, yo, bro, come on, the least...
Kash Patel, as I said when I introduced him, public defender, former prosecutor, top staffer on the House Intelligence Committee, Deputy Director of National Intelligence with the National Security Council, Chief of Staff at the Department of Defense, and FBI Director. I think that's pretty good resume for the guy who's now running the top law enforcement agency in our country. And we've seen all the stats that he's given to the committee on how much better they're doing at getting the bad guys than the previous.
Now, in the previous story, we was talking about things that was going on in the city of Indianapolis, right? Talking about how hard it is for it would be impossible. The police can't stop crime. The FBI can't stop serial killers and white supremacists. Nobody. It's up to the people to stop that. Because the FBI and the police, most times if somebody tell them, so you would need still the people, right? So say it's a big plot for anything to happen. You need one of the people to call ahead of time, right? If not, it happens and then there's a response. And when it happens, remember what I said like in the last story, it's always crying. It's always sad children and wives and fiancés and girlfriends and parents. So now everybody in their emotions, and if they don't see love as being the highest level of understanding, now we done kind of even went too far to get to the sense. We should never be able to go too far to get to the common sense. But yeah, that's what happened. And ain't gonna be no way to get around it. This is what it is. Hey, yo, bro. So I just think like, yo, that's crazy to even think of our politics like WWF, like, oh, you think they don't hang out at the end of, wait, you think Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter really happy? No, they be probably best friends. Like you think, like you see what I'm saying? Like, but in order to keep that money flowing in order to keep their position, when they get in front of you, they gotta act like the opposition. But they getting paid from the same person. And that same person, like, go, man, say what y'all gonna say. Go ahead, man. Your money. We're paying for the bullshit. We paying for it. But people don't expect a vote to go to it. But your vote is, so basically you voting on somebody to get in position to get money. My bro do stocks. I was telling him about like I'm like, yo, bro, you ever thought about just like telling like the people that's on Capitol Hill? He like, hey, yo, hell yeah. It's dudes that be saying, yo, just follow everything that Nancy Pelosi do. I'm like, they say that in like the stocks where he like, yeah. People say like, yo, if you got a little money and you can afford the stocks that she gonna get, all you gotta do is follow Nancy Pelosi. You know how crazy that is. You know how whack. Well, hey. It is what it is, right? Like,